During the first half of 2018, Southern Nevada Strong held a 4-part workshop series aimed at better equipping nonprofits to secure federal grants, an area in which the region has long underperformed. The workshops helped build the technical skills of local grant professionals and created an opportunity for partnership and collaboration. To lead each workshop, we called a host of local experts from across the region to share their insights into successfully applying for and implementing federal grants.
If you think about it, the easy problems in our community have all been solved. And what we are left with are the incredibly difficult and complex ones that don't make fiscal sense. And it's going to take the innovation and creativity of all of us in the room to come together in ways we've never assembled before to solve those problems.
And if we want to be more competitive as a community with federal funding, we need to start investing more in individual agencies' operational capacity. This is critical. If we're mandating that every dollar go to programs all the time, great. We're going to be helping what we can, but that allows very little wiggle room for innovation, capacity, and the things that are truly necessary to become more competitive down the line.
One of the things that we don't do well in this community is plan ahead and be proactive. We try to put together a grant application when we've got the 6-week application window opens and have it done by the end. That is harming us.
And let's face it, grants take a lot of time to write. I know for those people who don't write grants, they may not know, but writing is intense. And so you really want to spend your time on those grants that are really going to move your mission, and not waste time on things that take you askew. So
there's a lot of people who we talk to who fund our other regions at Teach for America who wouldn't fund Las Vegas in the past because they saw this as a community that didn't work together, or it didn't have a vision for what the future was going to look like. And they're more ready to do that now because they see a lot of people working together. And that's why I really got excited about joining the Southern Nevada Strong community, is because we have our 2025 vision, but we also have a community-wide direction that we're rowing in. And it's unlocking more doors for us at the federal level and at the just national grant level.
So today we're going to talk about another thing that came up constantly during our discussion, and that was a little bit more about the technical nature, that is grant writing, but specifically about the narratives.
I always start with reading the request for applications and making an outline. What are the key pieces that they are looking for? And I look specifically on the weights that they're giving points to it on the request for applications. If it's 25 out of 100 points, I'm going to give 25% of my page limit to that section of the grant. That's the weight that they want to see. What you start to find is some of the things that we spend the most amount of time on in grant proposals, the data as to why the project is needed, the research behind the interventions that we're doing, it's often the lowest number of points.
So you really have to be really parsimonious with your space and focus on what you really want them to know. And what you want them to know ultimately is that we're the bomb. We can do what we said we can do. We have the partnership and the resources to do what we say we're going to do. And this is how we're going to make it work.
If you don't measure it, it didn't happen. Okay, the funding agencies aren't here in your communities watching you and what you do every day. And you may be working and you may be progressing and doing the world's greatest things, but if you can't measure it and demonstrate that to them and communicate it to them effectively, they don't know that. It's absolutely critical to communicate that back and have an evaluation and assessment plan.
Oftentimes, we don't think about, or an organization doesn't think about evaluation until we're applying for a grant. And a lot of times the burden will then fall on the grant writer to figure out, well, what are our metrics? What are the performance outcomes? What are we measuring? And so when you start a program or think about evaluation, it's important that everybody be involved in the process.
So when you're developing the evaluation plan component of any proposal to a funder, think about what's the purpose of the evaluation, how will the findings be used, and how will they be reported, what will we do with the data once we gather it, how will we analyze and assess, what will we know after the evaluation that we don't know now, and how will we know if our program or project has succeeded, what are the indicators that will tell us we're doing a good job.
To learn more about Southern Nevada Strong and its federal grant competitiveness initiative, visit southernnevadastrong.com/grants.